If you've been keeping an eye on home prices in the Susquehanna Valley, you've probably run into two things that seem to contradict each other. Maybe you've heard about a house that sat for weeks with barely any showings. Maybe you've also heard about the one that went under contract in just a couple days, almost full asking price, no real back and forth haggling. Both of these are true right now at the same time in the same market. And once you understand why, the rest of this is going to make a lot more sense, whether you're buying, selling, or watching from the sidelines. I'm Wyatt Troxell, and every month I break down what's actually happening in the Susquehanna Valley real estate market. This month, we're covering the entire real estate picture. Then we're going to spend some time in Lewisburg, Danville, and Selinsgrove specifically, because right now those three towns are not living the same market. Here's the simplest way that I can put what's happening across the valley right now. It's less like a clearance rack where everybody's picking through, trying to talk the price down. It's more like ordering something custom. People are taking their time, making sure the home is right before they commit. But once they do commit, they're not really haggling on price a lot. Days on market, which is the average time to sell, that's climbed to 41 days, up from 32 a year ago. If you're a buyer, that probably matches exactly what you're feeling right now. There's more time to look at homes, there's less pressure to rush into a deal. But sold to list ratio, which is how close homes are actually selling to their listing price, that's nearly the highest point it's been in all of 2026. If you're a seller, that's probably closer to what you're experiencing. It's taking a little longer to get there to the closing table, but once an offer comes, it's usually been a strong one. Here's the number I'd pay most attention to if I were you: median sales price. It's actually up over 10% this year, while the average sales price is only about 3% higher. That gap tells me where the real competition is right now. And it's not in the high end of the market. It's in this everyday range, roughly $300,000 to $400,000. If your house or your budget falls in that range, you're feeling more competition right now than a headline that says the market's slowing down would ever suggest. If you want the same breakdown every month before you make a move, would you hit the subscribe button below? Now let's get into the towns. Lewisburg's the tightest of the three, and it's not close. Active listings are down from a year ago. Absorption rate, roughly how many months it takes to sell everything currently on the market, that's at 2 months, down from 4.5 just last year. The average sales price, though, it's actually up over 17%. Now, some of that's just simple supply, but part of it is the timing that repeats every single year that still is catching people off guard in Lewisburg. Bucknell's incoming class moves in August. That pulls rental demand, short term housing pressure into town right now when the shelf is already close to bare. So, if you're thinking about listing in Lewisburg, especially anywhere near campus or downtown Market Street, this is about as favorable a market gets for you. Now, if you're buying in Lewisburg right now, you're actually competing with more than just those buyers. You're competing with that seasonal squeeze. So, you got to be pre approved and ready to move quickly. Matters more here than in those other towns. And if you want a reason to get out of the house this month, no matter which town you're in, the West End Fair, highly recommend it. It's running later this month, August 23rd to the 29th. This is actually the 101st year now. Okay, let's get to Danville. Danville's story has a twist in it. Homes are moving faster. That absorption rate is actually down 27% year over year, which on its own says we have a tighter market. But average sales price actually pulled back almost 16%. Now, that's not your house losing value, and it's not the market softening. This is this mix shift. There's actually fewer higher end homes that changed hands last month compared to a year ago. And that alone in Danville is dragging the average number down, even while competition underneath is getting stronger. Danville also has something the other two do not: Geisinger's continued presence as one of the region's largest employers, which tends to keep a steady floor of housing demand in town, even when the broader trend shifts around it. So if you're selling in Danville this month, don't let that average price number spook you without this context. And if you're in Danville's business community, the Susquehanna Valley Business Mixer is actually coming up August 17th at the Pine Barn Inn. Worth going just to hear what other local business owners are seeing right now. Selinsgrove is actually the calmer story this month. And if the other two have you feeling like you missed your window, this is good news. Absorption loosened up slightly instead of tightening. Prices are still climbing, although gently around 4%, nothing like the pressure across the river. Between Susquehanna University, the riverfront, and continued growth out towards Hummel's Wharf, Selinsgrove tends to draw a steadier, less frantic pace of buyer interest, and right now, that's showing up clearly in the numbers. Selinsgrove's got a couple of good community events also this month. There's the Snyder County Night Out on the 11th at East Snyder Park, and the Wheels in the Grove Car Show downtown on the 13th. Now, if you've been priced out of the bidding war feeling in Lewisburg, this is the town where you're more than likely to get a normal, unhurried process. So tell me, guys, which of these three sounds closest to what you're experiencing right now? Watching Lewisburg tighten up, trying to make sense of Danville's numbers, or thinking Selinsgrove might be your window? Drop your town in the comments. I read every single one. And if this made something clear for you, would you hit that like button? That's the single biggest signal that tells YouTube to put this in front of more people in the Valley who need it. And subscribe if you want next month's breakdown to just show you what's in head instead of you having to go find it yourself. See you next month.